Welcome to this special episode brought to you by ET Brand Equity in association with SAP. Today we are talking about driving next-gen growth with AI-powered customer experiences. Joining me today is Sachin from Orion Pro and Amit from Apparel Group. Welcome.
Thank you.
So, today some part of the customer journey is beginning online. Whether it's research, whether it's awareness, the journey begins online, but it may end anywhere, right? How do you try to enter the customer journey online when there is, increasing cost of acquisition, when the audience, the media ecosystem is fragmented? How do you gain a single view of the customer?
Yeah, thanks for that. I'll probably answer it from a B2B perspective, which is bulk of where Orion Pro works. At least from our estimates, at least 60% of the decision making is done through online research till a person even rolls out any tender or an RFP or even outreaches, sends out as an outreach to us.
Right.
So I think that's the space that we are trying to capture, and that's been the case for the last, maybe I would say 10 years. But I think costs, as you said, are rising, and that's the important part. I think where we need to look at is probably open up, almost like a Sherlock Holmes, open up the microscope and see whether each piece of that buying journey, is it inefficient or not? Okay, can that piece be, say, replaced by a martech? Can you do an in-source, right? Or can you do an outsource? So I think there is no formula answer. So for example, we work in the transit business, for example. So that flow is completely different, say, from the banking tech software that we do, right? So there have been cases where I've even in-sourced a particular function around media buying. So not media buying, sorry, in-sourced a function around, say, paid marketing, right? And we've completely, say, outsourced another section on creatives, right? It is just that piece of journey we have to go through a microscope, and sometimes it doesn't necessarily end in physical like it does. As my colleague was saying, that it's also reverse. Some of these can even start at a physical touch point, right? And even close in the digital, because there have been cases, I think started since COVID, that you can actually do sometimes even at B2B deals completely online. Okay, sitting in India, you can crack a deal in Europe, you can crack a deal in Australia. So I think that's what perspective that we've seen. But I think more importantly, as marketers, it's to now look at that each and every function and say, can I use a technology? Can I use a process? Right? Can I completely in-source? Can I completely outsource? I think that's becoming much more realistic in order to save costs.
So that's a wonderful perspective, where sometimes customer journeys may even begin at a physical touch point and end on digital. And the question is really, how do you connect these disparate customer journeys that are happening across touch points, sometimes on your own platform, sometimes across paid marketing channels, and bring them together, so moving the customer along the journey?
Yeah, I think traditionally it's always sort of hooked everything into the CRM. It always has, right? You'll end up making your life pretty complex with a lot of these martechs. But I think over the last few years, you've seen them get better and sharper. So I had a good opportunity to reset my entire tech stack, right? I had an opportunity. So throughout the website, so build everything from scratch. So there's an opportunity to make sure that the CRM that we choose is in the right place. The heat maps sort of connect back to it. The paid marketing attribution connects back to it. So I think if you're able to do it right and you have that opportunity as a marketer, you should definitely take it. But I think getting that hook into the right gives the right set of visibility, and I think to especially my funnel marketing teams, so they can literally see what's the attribution happening. But yeah, I think tech has made a big change, and I think that investment will continue in especially attribution.
Fantastic. I want to come back on what are the changes, how the stack has evolved. But coming to you, Amit, right? Again, so many customer journeys might be beginning online for retailers, but how to capture that demand online across multiple media ecosystems, how to bring it back to the store or to the touch point that you want to, and then how to continue that engagement with the customer without blowing up your cost of acquisition and making sense of the business unit economics.
Rightly said. Today discovery is online across. I mean, that's the reason new launches, new product gains, you get it on online. You get the customer to discover the product. And then it flows down to at an organization and a brand, you're channel agnostic. You leave it to the customer to decide where she or he wants to shop. But discovery pretty high online. you ensure once the customer is at the store, purchase with you, you follow it up with a very strong CRM. And what you said was right, that retain a customer to your own networks of CRM, or else if you keep acquiring it, the cost of acquiring is increasing day by day. You need to ensure that you retain them, you continue retaining them with your own CRM tools that you have, and you build on marketing via, that could be paid marketing by influencers, by new product launches on digital for discovery basis. Once you do that, you get the customer to hook onto the brand, shop at the store or online, and you keeping them in your own brands. In our case, the advantage is that the customer flow is not to one brand, but to multiple brands, because they fit well with each other. From a footwear to an Aldo to Charles & Keith to Bath and Body Works to Victoria's Secret, they fit well with the customer. And we always look at a customer acquired at an apparel group level, then a brand level. Okay. And then the flow of the customer via our networks of CRM push is then built across. So we look at the customer at a life cycle value, not at a brand, but at an organizational view.
And so when you have this connected funnel, full stack, right? What are the gaps that you see there that still need to be addressed in making that customer journey effortless, while at the same time making it, cost effective, so to say, for your brands?
I think two parts, and we always debate that how much is a push from a group level to a customer in communication. It cannot be overpowering to the customer that you feel that you're pushing too much as an information. You need to be available to her at the time that she needs it, which is where the new technologies of AI comes in the picture, of knowing when to target, when to communicate, when to reach. That's very critical, that I'm available to you or I communicate to you at the time that is right. Otherwise, it will just go as a push out, it will go as spamming, which is very important. A lot of times the brand, without looking at these aspects, miss out, and then you get the consumer losing out on the brand. So it's very important that you target right, you target at the right time, which is where your AI tools of forecasting, of predictability comes in the picture to understand. And till now it was at a product front. It's very high at marketing front today, of understanding when should it be reached out. Every communication that goes out has to be, what time? Is it at 11 a.m. in the morning? Is it at 5 in the evening? And you see spurge. And when we look at our data, we go as granular to see what spurge of customers are at what time period also. Is it at 9 p.m. in the night? Is it at 9 a.m. in the morning? And it's so amazing that we see spurges at 11, 12, 1 in the night as the biggest after store closures that you see up, going up to morning 7, 8 also. So we've seen those, and you build everything keeping those spurge moments in mind. But in the discussion that we started with, that how much is the discoverability online? I think today it's everything online as discovered at the first front, and then leave it to the customer. You want to be in the mind of the consumer when he's looking out to shop, and that's built with you being present on when he or she is surfing, and that's the phone. That's that much space you have. You have 3 seconds to capture the mind of the consumers. So that's why they say that whatever you make, your creative should be appealing under 3 seconds. Otherwise, you'll miss out and the customer will roll out.
Fantastic. So, the data has really shown you that the customer today is always on, always ready to, always browsing, always discovering, always shopping, right? Coming back to you, Sachin, right? Now, you said that you are able to attribute where the leads are coming from. What are the gains that you saw from building this full stack approach? Were your sales team able to close a certain conversation in a shorter period of time? Because, B2B sales takes some time. Were you able to have stronger conversations or the right conversations with the right prospects, right? What are the gains?
So in B2B, the handover is most important. Okay. Sometimes the whole argument is around qualification, right? Whether it's the right qualified lead and what you hand over. So at least at Aurionpro and places where I've worked, we are actually trying to change the game out there, trying to actually capture the context. So earlier you would go 10 years back, it's just get a lead, hand it off, right? So now you have lots of inside sales teams into play. You have digital sales into play. You have follow-up teams doing online conversation with just vetting the leads, right? So there is a lot of information and data coming through, right? So some of the experiments that we're running, that we also run, is how do you get all of these conversations into one particular stack? So there are these tools which are like very similar to, say, Google Notebook LM, right? So you funnel all of this information into that one point and literally ask kind of questions. And these questions is something that we work with our sales guys to work. So for example, we work in the transit business, which is heavily government-led, right? So the kind of qualification that you do is completely different vis-a-vis, say, the banking business, which we do in, say, capital markets or transaction banking, right? So the nature of qualification is different as to what the customer is looking for, what their buying patterns are, where the competition is, why they have taken this decision, right? The nature of this is completely different in these two businesses. But what we've done is try to get to a space where you're able to ask these questions. You're able to sort of extract this information from whether it's a inside sales conversation, whether it is some kind of feedback that you've come through, whether you run a survey, right? And when you have these kind of demand generation sort of programs running and you get this data out, so this is something what we've done, and we've been able to, at least the ones we've run experiments before, we've been able to sort of hand this sort of very clean documentation right into the CRM and say, we've not just given you information, basic information, we're giving you contextual information, because now we are able to sort of map this to our in-house competitive information, to our in-house go-to-market strategy, right? Or we have done some segmentation, right? And the information that a salesperson will get, like I said, still an experiment, is something that they can be, driving up to a meeting, and that the context in the CRM, the data that we give, will be much higher. So these are some of the experiments that we've done in the past. It's worked, but I think it's time to scale it. It takes a lot of effort, because my always ask to my sales team is that if we sit together and do the qualification better, so that happy marriage of sales and marketing, right? We're trying to make that better. But in the experiment that we run, it is really beautiful, because sales can actually walk in with the context of, not only my company has done an outreach to you, this is your context in life. We know that you are buying for XYZ reason, right? And here are my wares. I think that is a much better conversation than you've reached out to us and what do you want. So that's, I think, has really taken an exponential leap in I would say the last 12 to 15 months with AI coming in. So I'm pretty pleased with that.
Great. I think both of you are on the same page with AI, and we can bring AI into this conversation. But I want to come to you, Amit, and talk again about, these micro behaviors which are happening outside of, the 9 to 5 or the traditional media zone, right? And how does knowing this consumer behavior is happening at these certain times and these certain occasions, how can you intervene, go back to your marketing strategy and create meaningful interventions for that? And how can you actually scale it? And I want to come to Sachin as well and talk about scaling those experiments that you spoke about, right?
I'll touch on two parts on AI that we were discussing. Today, when you've got a consumer shopping any time of the day, and if the requirement or if there is something that the customer needs, and let's say it's 11 in the night, if you don't have teams sitting back at 11 in the night to fulfill or reply back, that's where AI comes in the picture. And a lot of data that's already pre-fitted with the AI, at least the consumer, the first front, has got all the answers. And I'm talking about the basics right now. Let's say you've ordered something and you want to just check when will it be delivered, and you want to check this at 11 in the night or 12 in the night, or you want to speak to someone to find that out. That's where base AI is helping you out, at least to give you base information. So you don't need someone sitting behind and picking up the call and say, okay, I'll check back and come back to you. You've got that information available to you at any time of the day or any time of the night. And that's where these small interventions, and these are small things, they're not big. But you won't believe, at a call center front, having all these scenarios, and today the AI has become so well that it understands every language, and any language that you feed it in today. Our calls have dropped at 70%. We've reduced call, and if you actually look at a lot of e-com players, they don't even have a call center. You cannot call them. They will only call you back if the requirement is, because they've seen that you don't need that team of people sitting behind for you to make that, or someone picking up the call. That drops out if I am able to give you your answer at the first go at the system level itself. It drops cost at an organization front of having those many people sitting behind and doing this for you. It is a better service to the customer itself. So AI is coming in the picture. How much will you add it? Where will you add it? As time goes on, you can't skip out of it. You have to adapt to it, and you have to build to it. So that's part one that we were discussing. I didn't get the second one.
The second question was, how you know that these micro behaviors are happening at 12 level. How do you intervene with a marketing initiative at these times, or to capture this kind of demand which is happening over there?
Again, we keep a close eye on everything that from a paid or else from a performance stance. There is so much data that keeps flowing in the system to give us, again, these are all system driven, to identify times and specific occasions are big, and you pre-build those ones. And then to the earlier one that we were discussing, how much has a quick com become bigger and becoming bigger from an individual brand point of view? It is that the customer demands are the same, that they want it now, want it immediate. Can that be serviced out at late in the night by these routes? Yes. And that's the reason at an organization level, we're moving to all these functions and all these platforms where there is demands to places that we will not be able to reach directly, but reach through these mediums.
Fantastic. So obviously, two cases of AI. AI can help serve those always on customers and be there as the brand custodian, right, at that moment of truth. And also AI can help you drive segment and target certain amount of customers with a contextual, knowing what they want at that period, right?
From a marketing standpoint view is, and that we were discussing is, today you buy a shoe and the predictive model does say that the shoe will be replaced within the 9-month period. Is when we reach out to you. And again, these are no more manually run. The system derives the content, the system derives the copy, the system reaches out to you on your own, reaches out to the time that has determined that is a perfect time to reach out, determines what's the follow-up mechanism to you. And now the whole funnel from the first to reach out to your shopping is completely AI driven. Once I've acquired a customer, from those lines to your next purchase, I don't have any manual intervention left out. It's all AI driven. So that's where your builds are. That's where you're putting your monies in today.
Right.
How much you're going to build on these. You might find it expensive at the cost today on the infra part of it. But the gains to those are very high because it's going to self-sustain. It's going to self-run it. You're going to still build it up. And they're going to still process the whole funnel that you need of you coming back and shopping with us.
Fantastic. Absolutely. Right. That funnel becomes an engine kind of that runs on its own. And but in the B2B context where there's so many rich interactions have to happen, so much context is there in each interaction. How do you scale marketing? What are the bottlenecks? Even when you segment, you're basically cutting your audiences into certain chunks. How do you make that scalable?
In the B2B context, it's vastly different from the previous example. Is that I think we see use of technology as well as AI primarily in the I would say more around operational efficiency. That's honestly the real use case. And in fact, most people not realize that outside the marketing fraternity, marketers have been the early adopters of AI for the last 2.5 years. Okay, so in fact, my teams, I always tell them, like, buy the tool, use it, run it, work it, throw it. Okay, so we have a series of experimentations. When what we realize, in order to derive these kind of efficiencies, you start realizing that this is not a magic pill at all. Okay, and so the case that you said doesn't exist in B2B because we're not looking at those micro interactions. We're looking at much end-to-end larger conversions. Right? Sometimes it's sometimes 2 months, sometimes 6 months, a year and a half. So you have to sustain that. So what we start realizing is how do we apply AI throughout the series of processes. But I think as overall, if you look in hindsight, I've been experimenting my team almost like 2.5 years now. One, it does make you efficient. Great. I think it makes us specialized in what we do. Okay. So I think my product writers are better product writers. My data analytics guys are much better data analytics guys than they were before.
Right.
The cons is that I think copywriting as a
Takes a blow.
as a role is disappearing,
Yes.
right? Junior design level, I mean, senior design, you still need that level, but even junior design level roles are disappearing. So I'm literally seeing over the last 3-4 years some roles transforming completely. But I think, in fact, I tell my team, right, if I catch you using ChatGPT, you've had it, because I literally see people will lose the quality of writing.
Yeah.
But in a way, it's really good to sharpen your message.
Yeah.
It's really good for research, Perplexity, and a lot of tools really good for research. But I think we'll slowly hit a phase, and I think to your question around those specific segments, I think B2B has not yet hit that stage.
Yeah.
Not in the usage of tools. But I think where we are stepping into a space is that we are seeing ourselves being able to be much more productive. And I think models of marketing organizations are being impacted by AI, where say a typical B2B team, I don't know, $150 million company, which has a B2B marketing team, earlier used to have 100, you can actually now operate that at 30. So that makes your choice, and that's a big shift what's happening, right? That's one big change. I think the second change, I think primarily in use of data, I think it's more of enhancement. So we had large tools like demand base who literally help you see intent. Now we are experimenting with more AI enhanced, that kind of a demand intent discovery. Right. So as long as, like I said earlier, as long as you hook up the right data from your paid, from your organic, from your own media, right, and your websites and your social media, if you hook that up, we are seeing much I would say accurate level of intent data. So and the notifications come crazy. So if you're in the middle of an RFP, and we've done this experiments last year, right? If you are in the middle of a large RFP and you know that you're on the first time among equals, right? Now these kind of systems actually tell you whether these key prospects are actually consuming your content, right? On your websites or heat maps, they give that intent, and then it helps us move and make much better ABM actions. Right. I think that's the space. I think we're not really at the front end, I would say, at the consumer level, but I think more around efficiency. I'm seeing value, but so we're hoping for more and more tools to come into play.
No, absolutely. The entire marketing teams are getting augmented by AI, so to speak. And I think B2B, there's a lot of content that is churned out so that your prospects find out the right products, find out the solutions that they need before they begin the conversations, right? Yeah. Amit, what are the use cases that you see? You spoke about, chatbots being available for those always on consumers. What are the marketing use cases you see for going further in AI, or do you also see AI impacting your operational efficiencies much more?
The most important now at least at our front is how personalization comes in the picture. Right. It's no more one shoe fit all case by any means. And when I say personalization, you have to give that personalization to individual customers. Yeah. You have to make them feel it's personalized to you. Otherwise, it won't work. Today, the advantage of targeting at a pin code level and I'm just saying, not just offers, but everything at a pin code level is different. What you see today at an ad campaign in Mumbai, you don't see the same in Delhi. Right. And that's now gone at detail at the pin code level. Yeah. So you're planning, you're targeting your whole campaigning out is more targeted, and it has to be personalized. And as I said, this can only be driven as you go forward with the help of AI. So you have to build those things, and it's, as I said, it's purely built on AI. If you build today, you're looking at a better future as you go forward, and that's where we push our teams for. We keep telling them it's not that you do something that's open for everyone. You need to customize and personalize for customers, behavior-based, cohort-based, city-based, pin code-based, state-based. Our campaigns are now that way. It's all spread out based what you need and what the reach out is. It won't be a same that is there for a city at Mumbai, and the same will not be at Punjab. Yeah. It will be a different campaign, a different process, different promotion also.
With retail, there's such a decentralized ecosystem. There's the franchisee retail leader, then there's the regional leader and all of that. Do you think bringing that ecosystem together is the first step? Is AI helping in bringing that ecosystem together? so that you can do that geographical level, pin code level
In our
intervention?
case, yes, you look at pin code. So today, at a consumer front,
Yeah.
you have the option to shop across anywhere.
Yeah.
That's there. What counts and what matters is when do you receive and when you get it.
Yeah.
We look at from a point of view of for our understanding today, if we want to open a new store in any part of the country, these data points do help us.
Yeah.
From a pin code level understanding to a state and a city level understanding of orders coming in helps us to decide where do we open the next store, which market, which city, which state that we go to. Today we are at about 250 odd stores across our network, and we want to move to 1,000 stores in the next 3 years.
Yeah.
And it's important for us to decide those locations based on these knowledges that we get from all our .in sites, our marketplace availabilities, all our partner sites that we sell at, and these are key informations to plan our future developments.
Fantastic. Great conversation. Obviously, marketing teams have been early adopters of AI and technology, and good to see all these emerging use cases and not, the future kind of expectation that, you can actually use AI to reduce the or improve the productivity of marketing teams, scale hyper-personalization initiatives at a pin code level, do contextualization, and also kind of serve customers at whatever time, wherever they are possibly, because everybody has a mobile, right?
Yep.
Thank you so much for joining
Right.
us for this
Thank you.
conversation. It was
Pleasure.
wonderful.
Thanks.
Pleasure.
Cheers.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
you.
That's all for this episode. Stay tuned in this series on driving next-gen growth with AI-powered customer experiences. Thank you.